Oh my gosh, I just want to say huge congratulations, but before we get into everything, I wanted to address the elephant in the room.
The horse in the room?
It's the horse, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I apologize, but it's what's happening. I'm sure you've talked about this at length.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough for me.
Listen, my bone to pick right now, though, is when I saw this image, I was like, oh my gosh, looks like a buddy comedy. They're out with their fun little horse. They're gonna have a great old time. It's gonna be a delight. They're gonna have a laugh. And then I cried for 98%
I know,
of it.
what a disappointment.
No.
It wasn't the buddy comedy that you hoped.
It wasn't what I was expecting, but
sorry.
honestly, going into the fall, I love a good cry.
It's not for want of effort. That was the film I wanted to make.
Okay.
It's this emotional stuff that comes in along the way.
That's right. Yeah.
It was amazing, honestly. I just saw it, and it was a delight. I walked out of the theater, I had my sunglasses on because I wanted to look like a cool guy who didn't just weep the whole time. So thank you very much for that. I think I'm gonna have a really good sleep tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, the clock is ticking.
What's the rush?
Because I'm worried that there's a very distinct and real possibility that I am about to fall in love with you.
Andrew, I just wanted to talk to you first about your relationship and chemistry with Florence Pugh.
Sure.
In the movie, it's so beautiful. Like, immediately you can feel it. So what was it like working with her and kind of building that connection?
A privilege.
Yeah.
And, you know, you read the script and you think, oh gosh, this is going to be a challenge. And all I knew of Florence was how brilliant she was as an actor. So I didn't know, neither of us knew each other, and we didn't know whether it was going to work.
Yeah.
John had an instinct, and I'm glad he was right. Time. We had 2 weeks of rehearsal, and then and it was slow. We let it. We didn't force it. We didn't try and force anything. And then as we started filming, we kind of recognized the other's willingness to go to difficult places in the scene. And also, I'll speak for myself, I recognized an actor that I could really tune into and lean on.
That's amazing. And I can imagine working with John. John, you're known so well for films like Brooklyn, where you build such a deep realism in these characters so quickly. As soon as I saw Tobias's Notebook, I was like, I got this guy. I know who this guy is. And you're so brilliant at doing that. What was it like telling this love story and getting the opportunity to do that?
Do you know, I wasn't in my head telling a love story.
Okay.
Well, not first and foremost.
Yeah.
I was after creating the truth of each scene as it was, and I find love stories oftentimes a little boring, if I'm honest, because it's like will they, won't they, and it's kind of binary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this was, the love was sort of a side effect to all the other stuff that was going on, and that's what I think is what's rather gorgeous about it. You know, I'm delighted that people are loving that it's a love story, but it's a side effect.
Yeah. It really showed the bravery of loving someone when you know something can go wrong. When you love someone, it's scary because they could go away 100%.
You're vulnerable, yeah.
And it's so beautiful, but I was trying to kind of wrap my head around what the genre was from my own perspective. And I love a portmanteau, so I was like, is it a rom dramedy? Is it a what kind of was the impetus? Because also the meet cute, which I will call it a meet cute, very not normal.
So sorry, but do we know each other?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I ran you over.
I don't think that would work for me. If I met my husband that way, not gonna work. Yeah.
I don't know what the portmanteau would be. Honestly, I'm afraid. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
You're right. But you know, I've heard it described as a rom-com, and I'm like, it's not, because it just doesn't follow along those guardrails, as it were. It's too unruly. I think the genre is life. Really, that is the big game hunting that it's going for, which is what does it feel like to be alive and to try and make a life with another individual. I don't know. You'll have to come up with a new portmanteau for that. I don't know what it would be.
I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna workshop it.
You could nail that one.
Yeah.
You really will. You will. You know.
I just wanted to touch briefly on time. Now, Andrew, you've done films that kind of central around the idea of time and telling stories in this way. This film jumps around in this relationship. Is that like a fun place to play?
Yeah, for sure. I think yeah, the films you're referencing are related, obviously, and I think the relationship is about the sacredness and the sanctity of life, and how brief our time here is, and a kind of a microscope on, you know, how do we get to the place in ourselves where we are living in the way that we're meant to live, and what are the processes that need to happen in order for that to be reached. In terms of like the Tick Tick Boom relationship and We Live in Time, there's, I think what's so beautiful about both of the films is it feels like you're zooming into these people's lives in a way that that you wouldn't get to in any other art form, and kind of expanding these fated moments in each of these people's lives, and it's magical.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say thank you so much. And in particular, I wanted to say thank you to John for bringing Cooking with Flo to the big screen. I myself am
Were you a fan?
I am, and I actually got my start cooking. I'm a chef.
Cool.
And I can say, you can crack a mean egg. Not a lot of people can do that. The 3-bowl, mwah, fantastic.
Great. Can you do that? Can you crack an egg in a flat surface?
Oh my gosh, of
Can you
course
what?
I can. Oh my gosh, not my first rodeo. Thank you so much. It was a real delight chatting.
You too.
Lovely to
Yeah,
meet you.
we got to get on the movie. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.